Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of San Miguel de Allende. I'm the Reverend Tom Rossiello, minister of this congregation. The month of May is the slowest time in San Miguel. Lots of people are traveling, and it's our time of lowest attendance at the fellowship. Our Sunday service team works so very hard during the year to bring you quality services each week, and they need a break. Also, I am traveling back to the U.S. to have hip replacement surgery. So our services during the month of May are going to be a bit different. Each Sunday morning at the Aldea and on Zoom, there will be an opportunity to watch a video presentation. It will be an all-video presentation by a Unitarian Universalist minister, either pre-recorded or live on Zoom. Everything will be on the screen in the Aldea or on Zoom. No live speakers, no live chalice or candle lighting, no live music, not even a collection. But of course, your contributions are always welcome via our website. After the service at both the Aldea and on Zoom, there will still be the opportunity to chat with each other, and coffee and a few cookies will be available at the Aldea. The May 4th service will begin with a virtual trip to the Sarah Orden Chapel of the San Francisco Church to hear a prelude of beautiful organ and trumpet music performed by Malcolm Halliday on the historic pipe organ and trumpeter Juan Cruz. The sermon will be by one of our much-loved guest ministers that we've not seen in a while, Heather Janulis. On May 11th, I will welcome you to our lake cottage in Massachusetts for a service called Lessons Learned from Geese. We will have just arrived at the lake in time to see the new goslings learning to swim under the watchful eye of their parents, and that will inspire this service. A recording of a two-piano arrangement of Saint-Saëns' The Swan, featuring pianists Malcolm Halliday and Olga Rolgash, will lead us into our time of worship. On May 18th, the Reverend Tania Marquez will present a service, and on May 25th, the Reverend Louise Green will do so, focusing on art, spirit, and struggle. Many Unitarian Universalist congregations do not have services at all for a month or two during the summer. We considered that, but we decided that this modified format would still give people the opportunity to connect and hear a spiritual message and perhaps some music without requiring work from most of our volunteers and lessening the load on our staff for a few weeks. This decision was fully endorsed by our board. I hope you'll find this different experience a meaningful way to still connect on Sunday mornings. Have a wonderful month. Services will be starting back with their regular format in June. Thanks for your understanding.
Morning has come, arise and greet the Good morning and welcome. It is my joy and pleasure to be here with you this morning. And I'm going to invite you to light our chalice. You may light a candle, a chalice in your home. You may light the candle and the fire in your heart. But we're going to light our chalice with these words by Thich Nhat Hanh. Dear Mother Earth, whatever there is soil, water, rock, or air, you are there, nourishing me and giving me life. You are present in every cell of my body. My physical body is your physical body. And just as the sun and stars are present in you, they are also present in me. You are not outside of me, and I am not outside of you. You are more than just my environment. You are nothing less than myself. With that, I'm going to invite you to a centering moment with a meditation on breathing song and followed by a story.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out loud. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
Everything is Connected by Jason Gruhl, illustrated by Igansi font, read by Passionately Ashley. Everything is connected, and since you are part of everything, you are connected to everything. You are connected to a human body, to hands and eyeballs, teeth and toes, elbows, a butt, and even a nose. To a heart and some lungs, and a strange-looking stomach, and a brain that's so smart. There's no peak it can't summit. But you're not just a body, you're bigger than that. You're connected to people, to everybody. To moms and to dads, to sisters and brothers, uncles and cousins, grandfathers, grandmothers. You're connected to friends and to teachers at school, and even to people you don't think are cool. You're connected to people in Denver and Maine, in Paris and Baghdad, to strangers in Spain. You're connected to every human on Earth. Wow. And they are connected to you. You are also connected to hedgehogs and cats and dogs and squirrels and birds, rabbits and cows and deer by the herds, monkeys, tarantulas, dolphins, and snakes. Friend, you're connected to every big, small, hairy, slimy, snuggly, scaly, floppy, flappy, bristly, buzzy, beautiful creature on earth, even blobfish. Blobfish, you say? Surely not that. They don't look like me, talk like me, or act like me, and they probably stink. But you see, we're connected. We all play a part. In life, we're the same. We're all blobfish at heart. Now this next part, though bonkers, is true. I'm afraid you're connected to everything humans have made, to toys and to playgrounds, books and to chairs, gardens and medicine, language and prayers, buildings and bicycles, buses, balloons, hammers and paintbrushes, tractors and spoons. But also to chickenpox, bullies and lies, to greed and pollution and trash piled high. You're not just connected to things that you like, things that are comfortable, easy, or nice. As a human, you're part of the everythingness, and sometimes it's scary and a big ugly mess. But the good news, my dear, is that you are quite powerful, a force that is in everything, timeless and wowerful. You're even connected to things you can't see, the invisible world for at least you and me, to cells, DNA, diseases and death, amoeba and gravity, atoms and breath, to hydrogen, nitrogen, nanobots too. You're connected to them, they're connected to you. You're connected to happy, connected to sad, to the past and the future, to thoughts you have had, to pharaohs, Ben Franklin, T-Rex, ancient Greece, to love and to poverty, hunger and peace, to Jesus and Buddha, Muhammad and Moses, to spaceships and aliens with noses like hoses. You're connected to all that will be or has been. You're this very moment where all things begin. For you are the sun and the moon and the stars, Venus and Jupiter, Neptune and Mars, comets and galaxies, voids and black holes. You are the universe, perfect and whole. The end.
Thank you for that story. And I just want to hold that as you are connected to everything, you also are connected to everyone in your community. And as you hold those people who are struggling in your thoughts, in your minds, and your hearts, or that if you are struggling yourself as well, to remember that as part of a community, you're not alone, that there are people nearby surrounding you that you can always reach out to. I'm going to start by telling you a story from the book Braiding Sweetgrass, which probably some of you have already read, where Potawatomi botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer tells the story that she found with some of the elders in the community who harvested sweetgrass. Well, they noticed that sweetgrass was disappearing from some areas, and some elders were wondering if it had to do with the way some were harvesting it. So some people were pulling, from gently from the bottom, making sure not to disturb the roots, while others were just pulling it all together, including the roots. So she thought that this was an important question to try to figure out how the sweet, grass was responding to how it was being harvested. But sweetgrass was so sacred to Walt Kimmerer that she did not feel that she conducted research herself. So one of her students took on these questions for her dissertation. To test this, the student created 3 different areas. One where the sweetgrass was gently harvested without disturbing the roots. One where it was just pulled from the roots. And a third one where the plant was left undisturbed. Her own account of this story is wonderful. And if you haven't read the book or you haven't listened to the audiobook, I invite you to listen to it or read it. So she goes more into depth about the challenges of doing this kind of study in academic and scientific settings. But at the end of the study, the findings reveal that sweetgrass thrive in the areas where it was being harvested and died in the area where it was left untouched. The author then reflects on their findings, and she says, we are all the product of our worldviews. Even scientists who claim pure objectivity, their predictions for sweetgrass were consistent with their Western worldview, which sets human beings outside of nature and judges their interactions with other species as largely negative. They had been schooled that the best way to protect a dwindling species was to leave it alone and keep people away. But the grassy meadows tell us that for sweetgrass, human beings are a part of the system, a vital part. And I love this story because it so clearly exemplifies interdependence. We are part of the ecosystem, and how we act in relation to other beings has an impact. And interdependence is one of the shared values listed on the final proposed revision of Article 2, where we honor the independent web of all existence with reverence for the great web of life, and with humility, we acknowledge our place in it. We covenant to protect Earth and all beings from exploitation. We will create and nurture sustainable relationships of care and respect, mutuality and justice. We will work to repair harm and damaged relationships. The late Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh also said, "You are me and I am you." Isn't it obvious that we inter-are? He asks because he expects this truth to be self-evident and unavoidable. But you tell me, what gets in the way, if not always, perhaps sometimes, of experiencing this truth for you? What makes it difficult to understand that we indeed inter-are? Because if we believe this to be true, wholeheartedly true, and everyone around us believed it as well, how different our interactions would be. I have some thoughts about what may get in the way of our ability to experience and acknowledge our interdependence, though I'm sure there are many others. Perhaps after the service, you can share with others what gets in your way of experiencing our interdependence. But here are some of the things that I have noticed. The belief of the superiority of humans in relationship to the rest of the natural world. The belief that humans were placed on Earth to reign and manipulate over other beings has led us to the destruction of habitats, climate change, and exploitation. And all of those get in the way. I believe that some researchers claim started with the agricultural revolution and reinforced by religion about 10,000 years ago. This belief has disconnected us from the natural world to which we belong and from which we depend for our most basic biological functions. I always thought that my love for the smell of freshly cut grass, or the wet ground after the first rain, or the fresh air in a forest was a preference, just something that I liked. But Walt Kimmerer shares, recent research has shown that the smell of hummus exerts a physiological effect on humans. Breathing in the scent of Mother Earth stimulates the release of the hormone oxytocin, the same chemical that promotes bonding between mother and child, between lovers. So we are literally experiencing love when we find ourselves reacting to the smells we enjoy in the natural world. But to understand our place in the web of life, we must be in relationship with the rest of the natural world, so we can fully understand how our interactions influence one another. Think about the things you know about the communities you visit often, or about certain plants or animals. Think about how you came to know those things. We only can know what we are in relationship with, what we have come close to. The belief that we are unique and individual, and our goal is to be independent. Capitalism will commodify everything, and for years it has sold us the idea that we do not need one another, that one could easily acquire what is needed for survival. Yet a closer look to all of our possessions will reveal the opposite. In fact, I'm going to invite you to do a little exercise with me. Look around you, your surroundings, or maybe the things, the clothes that you're wearing, or accessories that you have on today. Pick one item. It doesn't matter what it is. Just pick one, whatever it is. And then spend a few moments thinking about the origin of that object. Do you know where it came from? Do you know anything about its origins? Do you know how it got to you? And try to imagine its journey from the beginning until it got to you or to the space where you are right now. Try to imagine the hands, the people, the processes behind it. And as you do that, I invite you to hold it with gratitude for all of those who contributed to its existence and to its journey to you. Another belief that gets in the way is that we're only impacted by the things that happen close to us. What happens far away does not impact me. But distance is not fragmentation. From space, the world is one round rock flying through space, and the borders and divisions created by humans are an illusion. A global economy has already erased them, but the goods you buy here that come from far away are also having a direct impact on the lives of those harvesting and manufacturing them. The belief that our individual actions are too small to make a real difference also get in the way. Because we believe our actions to be unique to us, many overlook the impact that many unique and individual actions can have on our world. Fast fashion is one of those examples. The fast-turning fashion trends that create a demand for clothes that will go out of trend with each season are at the same time creating difficult labor conditions for people overseas. I live in the border region, and I see every day the interdependence of two nations in one border region. Health organizations that work together to tackle health-related issues that impact both nations, activists and art organizations that creatively collaborate to bring awareness to the fellowship that exists and can be nurtured between two countries. And our story for the Time for All Ages today is a good reminder about our connection to everything. It names so many things and peoples and events that often escape our thoughts. And yes, sometimes we would prefer not to think that we are connected to people we struggle with. But the book reminds us that we are still connected. It does not tell us how. The answer to that question is up to us to discover. In fact, we could spend our life investigating how we are connected to everything. This could become a spiritual practice to keep us grounded and aware, to drive our attention to things that matter. But here's my favorite thing about interdependence. The clear awareness of interdependence, of unity and oneness, is how every mystic or enlightened leader, no matter the tradition, describes their mystical experience. Separation is an illusion, they say. We inter-are. But it is not enough to understand and know that we are interdependent, that our actions ripple out, that we are also impacted by the action of others, that we depend on many beyond what our imaginations may be able to capture. But we must be able to embrace it, to move towards this truth that our unique individuality is only a part of a larger web, and that we do not occupy the center stage on this web, that we are both givers and receivers, agents and shapers of the world. Our task would then be to live this truth aloud, to embody it, to be it by nurturing our relationships with all beings around us, be it a person, an animal, plant, river, mineral. To embrace interdependence, we may need to use our imagination for the times and moments when it becomes invisible to us, and to cultivate practices of inclusivity, dialogue, and reconciliation as antidotes to the illusion of separation. We can take it as an invitation to live with integrity and authenticity, but also with empathy and compassion. Because embracing interdependence requires that we recognize the value of every part of the web. It means infusing our whole lives with justice, equality, and sustainability. Joining in solidarity with those who suffer and advocating for positive change in our communities. Embracing interdependence is also embracing all the goodness that we receive from our relationships, the joy, the support, the care. This is so important because it is this joy and care and solidarity what sustains us in the journey. Embracing interdependence can help us cultivate a spirit of gratitude for the many ways in which we are supported and sustained by the web of relationships that surrounds us. Our lives can only be enriched by this radical act of living aloud the truth of belonging to the oneness of the world and the cosmos. So maybe you can take some time today or this week or sometime soon to move towards a relationship you had not considered before, to move closer to something or someone that has been difficult to understand or to fully capture. Invite yourself into a spiritual practice of asking either silently or aloud, how is it that you are me and I am you? And allow some time for silence and stillness to see what arises for you. I want to close with these words by Simone de Beauvoir. She wrote, I cannot withdraw into myself. I exist outside myself and everywhere in the world. There is not an inch of my path which does not encroach on the path of another. There is no way of being that can prevent me from overflowing myself at every moment. May we carry within us the awareness that we are part of something greater than ourselves. And may the light within us overflow to light the path of those who journey with us. And I'm going to offer you to extinguish our chalice before we move into our closing song. These words by Sweet Home Teacup. Being human means we are of this earth. We are these waters. We are fire and atmosphere. We are the sun and the moon and the stars. We are all that we see, and the wisdom is revealed by looking in between. Go in peace.
Come from the fire, living in the fire. watch the mountain fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life about to wow.